Well, good day, it's Loey Ferret. We are reading through the visual novel Saya Nota, or in English, The Song of Saya. So, what have we been experiencing with this? Oh boy, it has been a journey. From what it looks like and where we are, we might be talking through Koji, because us, Feminera, have pushed our former friend, best friend, down into a well out in the middle of nowhere in the hope of killing him. We thought he was dead. Let's see if he really is dead. But of course, we have eaten one of our other friends. And our other one, Yo, who was kind of like our former love interest. Or they loved us. Not sure it was exactly reciprocated. Well, it's been reciprocated now, but in a way that I don't think she envisioned. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue the march on. He's been buried alive. His world is the silence and the cold of the grave. Ever since his voice gave out and he lost the strength to scream, no coherent thought has passed through Koji's mind. Perhaps this is his brain's way of protecting him from despair. Instead, he dreams. Images flash before his eyes, random, unconnected scenes from his 20 years of life. Not all are of happy times. They are sad, painful memories as well. And even those are pleasantly warm compared to the death that is now encroaching upon him. He dreams of mountains. His older brother once took him hunting for insects when he was a child. They sealed their caught butterflies in a plastic bag, only later to find themselves holding a bag of dead butterflies. He dreams of his lover. They met at a mix-up where he'd been the only one to realize that she couldn't hold her liquor. After she had too much to drink, he looked after her while she vomited in the back alley. They toasted each other with canned juice, and then he dreams that he is diving into a deep sea, or into a dark sea. When he reaches the bottom, he looks up to see the moon shining through the surface of the water. As he gazes up at the circle of light, entranced by its roundness and brilliance, the distant rumbling of an engine reaches his ears. Something still conscious within him tells him that this dream is wrong. Have I ever gone diving at night before? The dots begin to connect in his mind, forming a barrier to separate his dreams from reality. What is bothering him? Of course, the sound. The engine noise gradually fades to a low idle, then abruptly gives way to silence, followed by the sound of a door opening and closing. This isn't a dream. Those sounds are real. Understanding comes like a sudden blow. This isn't the bottom of the sea, and that circle of light isn't the moon. It's the mouth of the well. The sun has already risen, and someone is right outside with a car. The last piece falls into place, becomes Tano Koji's, and he becomes Tano Koji once more. Help! Koji shouts, surprised by how easily his voice emerges. His desperation blocks out the pain of his raw throat. Hey, I'm down here in the well! Help me! He keeps screaming with all his might. Soon the echoes in the cramped well become deafening, and he's no longer certain if his screams have meaning, or he's just howling wordlessly. Nevertheless, he continues. His only desire is to be heard, lest he die forgotten at the bottom of this well. Koji's wait is not long, but even a minute feels like eternity when you're hanging by your fingertips at the edge of despair. Soon, the circle of light above him is partially eclipsed by the silhouette of a person staring down into the well. Tonoho? Oh, is it Tonoho? Tonoho? That'll be Tonoho. Tonoho-kun? Tonoho, you alive down there? It's a woman's voice. Koji has heard it somewhere before, but but for some reason cannot remember to whom it belongs.
ちょっと待ってろ。すぐに助ける。
Just hold on, I'll get you out. The silhouette vanishes, restoring the light to a perfect circle. Fear of being left alone again threatens to send Koji into a panic, but his reason has recovered enough to resist. She said she's going to get me out. I haven't been abandoned. While waiting, he gingerly tests his body, which he had forgotten all about until now. His joints ache, and his fingers and toes are numb, but though exhausted, he is still in one piece. After some time, the silhouette reappears at the top of the well.
君、怪我はないか？
Are
自
you
力
hurt?
でロープを登れるか？
Are you hurt? Can you climb a well on your own? Oh,
Yeah.
can you climb a well
ちょ
on
っと
your
それは
Can you climb a rope on your own? Sorry about that. That was a dickhead move. No, I don't think so. Koji lacks the confidence to attempt such a feat. His frozen fingers can barely move.
まあ仕方あるまい。
Oh well.
一旦私もそっちに降りる。
I'm coming down. After a brief pause, the owner of the voice tosses a knotted climbing rope into the well. He grabs the rope as soon as it reaches him. The rough threads bite into his palm, and relief nearly overwhelms him at the sensation. This is really happening. He's really safe. Now that he is free from despair, questions leap to the forefront of his mind. First among them, who is his savior? The rope shakes as the woman climbs carefully down, the beam from the floodlight slung over her shoulder, pushing back the shadow cast by her body. Soon, she is standing in the same mud as Koji, and he finds himself face to face with
先生
Doctor.
他の誰かを期待したかい？
Were you expecting someone else? Koji could not have imagined that his savior would turn out to be Dr. Tanbo Ruko, neurosurgeon at the T University Medical Center. Of course, it took him a moment to recognize her. Instead of a white gown and tight skirt, she is wearing a heavy leather coat, denim jeans, and boots with no heel. She must have expected a hike through the mountains. Her light is a bulky, all-purpose type, featuring side-mounted fluorescent runners in addition to the main floodlight. Survival gear, and professional grade by the look of it.
ひどいありさまだな。ほらこれ。
You look awful, Dr. Tanbo says wryly as she gives Koji a once-over. Here, drink this. She pulls a flask out of her pocket and hands it to him.
飲み込まず、ゆっくり一口ずつ舐めるようにしろ。
Go slow.
少
Take
しはマシになる。
small sips. It should help a little.
ありがとうござい
Thank
ます
She walks over. She's walking around with a flask. Maybe Koji just old-fashioned, but it doesn't seem appropriate for a young woman, and a doctor at that. Nevertheless, he unscrews the cap and takes a swig, and struggles to keep from coughing as the potent liquid sears his tongue.
なんですかこれ
What is this?
スピリタスウォッカ。着付け薬によし、消毒によし。浴びせてから火をつければ効くような相手にはかなり効く。
Spiritus vodka, good for disinfecting wounds in a pinch. And also a fine job of setting things on fire. Her tone is straightforward and quite serious. Koji can only gape at the doctor, the dark smile on her face doing little to ease his confusion. Is this really Dr. Tanbo? There's no trace of the bookish, mild-mannered woman Koji met at the hospital. Her expression is now set in a hard mask, and her eyes are sharp and weary. In the darkness at the bottom of the well, it is possible, however unlikely, that the change in her features is due to the ominous shadow cast by the herd lamp. It's not so easy, however, to explain the change in her demeanor.
先生はどうしてここに
Why are you here?
電話をよこしたのは君だろうが。
You called me, didn't you? Roko replies brusquely? Or was that brusquely? Glaring at Koji like an annoyed professor.
行方不明者を探してる二人組が妙な留守電の後に揃いも揃って音信不通になったりしたら何かあったと思うのが普通だろ。
I tried calling back, but you didn't answer. Never did your friend Suzugaba. Am I supposed to think everything's fine?
はあ
No, but Koji couldn't Still didn't understand why she acted so quickly. But it's a different part of what she just said that seizes his attention.
じゃあ、筑波は筑波陽にも連絡を
Wait, Suzuka, you called her too?
したよ。君と一緒で繋がらない。正直なところ、私はてっきり君も死体になってるもんだと思ってたんだがね。
Like I said, she didn't pick up either, to be honest. I figured you were both corpses already. That's right. He almost died, and at the hands of the man he fought was his best friend. Anger and confusion well up inside of him. He couldn't forgive Feminere's betrayal, nor could he forgive himself for his foolishness. And now he has no idea if Suzuka is safe. Feminere tried to kill Koji. Could he have done the same to her?
まあ落ち着け。ここで君がいくら殺気だって見たところで始まらん。
Calm down, why don't you? Ruku replies irritably, turning away to examine the insides of the well. There's nothing you can do from here.
何かあったと思ったのなら警察には届けてくれたんですか
If you thought something was wrong, Koji says to it back, then you must have called the police, right?
警察だと
The police? Still engrossed in her examination of the walls, Ruka laughs scornfully at the idea.
そうか。君はまだそういう形で蹴りがつけられるものだと思っているわけか。
So you think that's the way out, do you?
どういう意味です
What's that supposed to mean? Annoyed by her condescending attitude, Koji is about to demand answers when she cuts him off with a gesture and shines her light at a corner of the well.
トノー君、こいつには気づかなかったのか
You didn't notice, Tano?
は
Huh? In the light of the lamp, Koji sees that some of the stones are a different shade from the rest of the wall. This must have been what Roku was looking for.
気づきませんでした
No, there wasn't enough light. Roku's gaze moves slowly along the wall, finally coming to rest on a gap between two of the stones. The hole is just wide enough for an adult to reach in open-handed.
君、いいところに落ちてくれたよ。ひょうたんから困ってやつか
You sure picked the right well to fall down, Roku says with a grim smile. Like they say, it's always the last place you look. She wastes no time thrusting her hand into the opening. After she feels around for a few seconds, Koji hears the thunk of something solid coming together behind the wall.
先生
Doctor? Roku pulls her hand out and gives the different coloured stones a gentle push. With the rumbling of weight shifting, the stone slides smoothly back into the wall.
こういう仕掛けか。やられたよ。前に来た時は気づきもしなかった。
So that's how you fooled me. I had no idea this was here the last time I came.
前にも来た
You've been here before? Koji wants answers, but Ruko ignores him and peers into the opening. In the beam of her floodlight, Koji can see a concrete tunnel leading into the mountain.
私は先に進むが、トノー君、君はここに残ることを勧める。
I'm going on ahead, Tol. You better stay here. Her warning is simple and utterly devoid of warmth. Considering his options, Koji looks from the tunnel to the rope and back again. He's practically sweating now, thanks to the 190 proof vodka he had just drunk. But although feeling has returned to his fingers, he still doesn't have the strength to climb. That said, the thought of being alone in the well again makes him shiver.
一緒に行きます連れてってください
I'll go too. Please take me with you.
まあ好きにしろ。
Have it your way. Roku steps into the tunnel without looking back, and Koji doesn't hesitate to follow.
前にお会いした時と随分雰囲気が違いますね
You were pretty different the last time we met, Koji says sarcastically, following Roku as she moves cautiously down the tunnel with her light leading the way.
ここは病院じゃない。君は患者じゃない。営業スマイルが必要か
This isn't the hospital, and you are not my patient. This service doesn't come with a smile.
じゃあこっちが先生の字ですか
So this is who you really are.
さあ、どうだかな。
I wonder,
どうだっていいことだろ。
does it matter? Ruku suddenly stops and stares at the floor. While Koji looks over her shoulder, he sees a dust-covered robe lying coiled up in the corner in the middle of the path.
何です？
What is that?
あの井戸から降りてきたやつの小細工さ。
Something left by the last guy who came down that well. Ruku picks up the rope, examines it, and hands it to Koji.
長さは私が使ったロープのほぼ2倍。途中に結び目があって、端は両方とも切断されてる。
It's
この
about
両端がつながって輪になってたのさ。
it's about twice as long as my rope, and it has a knot in it. And both ends have been severed. They were connected before making a circle. Or before to make a circle. Huh?
外のどこかにこの輪を引っ掛けて、井戸の底まで伝って降りる。
You loop one end of the circle around something topside, then use the rest to climb down into the well.
その後、ナイフで輪を切って井戸の中に引っ張り込めば、井戸の底に降りた痕跡は残らない。
When you're at the bottom, you cut the circle open and pull the whole rope in with you. No trace of your descent is left behind. Ruku shines her light down the tunnel, revealing that it ends in a closed wooden door about 10 meters ahead.
こうやってここに逃げ込んだやつは追っ手の目をくらませたのさ。
That's how he avoided detection.
まんまと騙された。
Really got me
先
good.
生、さっき前にも来たっていうのは。
You said you've been here before.
ああ、君や咲坂君だけじゃない。私も以前、鴎外を追ってこの別荘に来た。
Yeah, you and Sakisa aren't the only ones, Ruku says dryly. I checked Ogai's cabin a while back. As Ruku speaks, she opens a coat and pulls out what she had hanging underneath it.
他に出口がないとしたら、奴はまだあの扉の向こう側にいるわけだ。
If there aren't any other exits, then he's still behind that door. At first, Koji thinks she's holding a steel pipe. Amazed that she would carry a weapon, Koji looks closer and is appalled when he realizes what it really is. A gun. And not one of those sleek handguns he's seen in the movies, but a double-barreled shotgun. The stock and barrel have been sawn down for easier concealment, enhancing its aura of brutal efficiency.
何ですかそれ？
What is that?
ショットガン、12番口径。
A 12-gauge shotgun, Ruku replies blandly, as though naming a brand of cigarettes.
私にはこいつを持ち歩く資格なんてないし、こんな風に改造するのも銃刀法違反だ。他に質問は？
I don't have a permit, and cutting it down would be illegal even if I did. Any other questions?
そんなもの持ち出して、一体どうするつもりです？
What are you planning to do with that thing? Ruku looks over her shoulder and gives Koji her most chilling smile yet.
鴎外の正体を初めて知ったとき、私はただの善良な一般市民だった。交通違反すら無縁のね。
When I first learned what Ogai was doing, I was a model citizen, and never even gotten a ticket. The woman who Koji believed was just a normal doctor waves her sawn-off shotgun menacingly as she continues, her tone sharp and bitter.
あの時にこいつがあったなら、私は多分鴎外をきっちり殺せていただろう。
If I had this back then, I could have killed Ogai before he got away.
そうなってれば、もしかしたら君たちがこんな災難に巻き込まれることもなかったかもしれない。その点は申し訳ないと思ってるよ。
Getting the timing wrong. Maybe then none of this would have happened. I feel bad about it, really.
あ
Koji listens in silence, helpless to do anything but watch as understanding moves further and further out of his grasp.
だから、これから私がやることは一切合切。君とその友達が足を突っ込んでる泥沼なありさまを終わらせてやるための手続きだ。
In other words, everything I do from here on out is to clean up this mess that you and your friends have stepped into.
その辺をよく理解して余計な口は突っ込まないこと。
Remember that. And don't ask any unnecessary questions. Got it? Koji can only nod weakly in response. With the light in her left hand and the shotgun in her right, Ruku walks up to the door and takes a deep breath. She then kicks the door open, putting her full weight behind the blow. With a disappointing feeble sound, the door breaks off its hinges and falls into the room. Dust billows like white smoke in the beam of Ruku's light. The room is large, at least 35 square meters square. The tiled floor is set with drainage grates, and there's no mistaking the operating table sitting in the middle of the room. Cabinets full of enamelware and drugs line one side of the space, and against the opposite wall stand a writing desk and bookshelves. Even Koji can recognize that much. The mysterious objects cluttering the tables and shelves, however, are beyond his comprehension. Mirrors delicately engraved with complex patterns, grotesque statues and masks that must have been left by the race of savages, tapestries woven in nauseating rays of colour, a crystal ball the size of an infant's head. Annie would fetch a hefty price at an antique store, if not for the one thing they all had in common. Every last piece is so loathsome and foul that Koji feels sick just looking at it. It's as though each was designed for the sole sinister purpose of immortalizing its creator's hatred of the world. I think there's a Jewish symbol right there. Rare-looking books of the sort that he found in Ogai's house are piled here and there. On one shelf are stacked some scrolls that look to be made of some kind of sheepskin or papyrus. Whatever it is, it's not paper. Finally, there are indecipherable chalk patterns and symbols filling every available space on the walls. Even the two sliding blackboards are covered in strange, unreadable scribblings. Just looking at them is making Koji dizzy. Don't look! Oroku snaps at him.
いいか、ここから動くな。絶対に何かに触ったりするな。目を引くようなものがあっても見つめたりしちゃいけない。
Listen, don't move, and whatever you do, don't touch anything. Even if something draws your attention, don't look at it.
まずいと思ったらすぐに目をそらして自分の靴を見ろ。わかった。
If you see something that feels wrong, stare at your shoes. Got it? Yeah, don't look at the Jewish symbol down there. Roku switches her lights fluorescent runners on and sets it on a nearby table, where it can illuminate the whole room. She then holsters her shotgun, only to pull out an even more confusing set of tools. A digital camera and a can of spray paint. She gives the can in her left hand a good shake, switches the camera in her right on, and steps up to the blackboard while looking at the camera's side-mounted screen. After recording one set of symbols, she covers it with a thick layer of paint, then moves on to the next.
先生。
Doctor.
レッスン1。妙な図形やラテン語の文章とかは絶対に読むな。見つめるな。
Lesson 1. Never look at strange symbols or read anything written in unusual languages like Latin.
機械の目で記録しておいて、後で注意深く調べればいい。
Use a camera.
その場で塗りつぶすか何かして破壊しろ。
Use a camera to record them for later examination, then paint over the real thing. Now that she mentions it, Koji realizes she's only looking at the screen of her camera. Even then, only in short glimpses, and never directly at any of the drawings. He understands what she's saying. It still doesn't make any sense.
一体どういう
Why do you have to...
ここまで深入りしたんなら、方角のために黙って聞いておけ。
Now you've come this far, you better shut up and listen for your own good.
あと、水晶球とか鏡の類も危ない。下手に壊すとヤブヘビになったりするから、とりあえず布でもかぶせるか、ペンキを浴びせて封印しろ。
Things like crystal balls and mirrors are dangerous. Anything can happen if you break them. so it's best to cover them with a cloth or paint over them for the time being. Koji begins to fear that this doctor may be even crazier than Fiboneri. Despite the burst of energy he received from the vodka, Koji is still exhausted from his night in the well. The fear is affecting his body, making him dizzy and nauseous. Soon, the walls are covered in black paint and the stale air is thick with the smell of turpentine.
とりあえずこんなところか。
That should do for now, Ruku says with relief, and tosses the empty can aside and puts away her video camera.
オーガイって人はどうなったんです？
What happened to a guy? Koji asks, supporting himself against a nearby table.
ああ、そこにいたよ。
Oh, oh, he was over there. Without stopping her examination of the papers on the writing table, Ruki just points nonchalantly to a Chinese-style screen standing in the corner of the room. He was there. Her clinical choice of tense makes her meaning instantly obvious. The urge to see for himself is irresistible. Koji staggers across the room to the screen, making sure not to step on the Jewish symbol, taking the utmost care not to look at the scaly octopus thing that is painted on it. Behind the screen is the large, easy chair. Although he's never met the man before, Koji is fairly certain that the person sitting in it is Ogai Masahiko. Hey dude. Ogai's corpse must have shrunk significantly while drying in this sealed chamber. The body is barely the size of a child, and with a business suit hanging from the bones, offering any hint of Ogai's former stature. His sunken eye sockets and wide open jaw are filled with darkness. The same darkness that surrounded Koji at the bottom of the well. Compared to those gaping voids, the tiny hole in Ogai's right temple is also demure. The revolver that he presumably used to kill himself is still clutched in his dangling right hand. It looks like a child's toy compared to Ruku's shotgun. Ruku must have noticed Ogai's corpse when she was spray painting the walls, and still she kept working without batting an eyelash. Impressive, and not exactly surprising after what he's been through. It's getting difficult to remember the last time he spoke to someone sane. But if not for her, Koji reminded himself with a bitter smirk, he would have ended up joining this mummified corpse here, and no one would have ever found him. Koji's vision suddenly dims. He's pushed himself too hard, and the spiritus vodka can't help him anymore. He collapses to the floor, unable to hang on to onto his slipping consciousness. The last thing he sees, Ogai Makahito's gaping eye sockets staring at him. Alright, well, I think we'll leave it there for this episode. So, now the mystery of, well, where is Dr. Ogai has been solved. Case closed. He's a dead corpse at the bottom of a well. Although, what was he doing? That is an interesting question. We'll see what we can find out in the next episode. So, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. You know what we're going to be doing next episode. Till then, enjoy.